is almost, there's no point, is there? It's sort of like, and I find a lot of times people come to session after session after session with me and Mary doing things, but unless they're willing to change something in their life, then it's really a bit of a waste of time. They're better off spending time home with their hubby or with their kids, or doing something they enjoy, if they're not going to embrace some kind of change through the process. Yeah. So I recommend embracing the change. Yeah, but it is quite. You do feel quite a lot of fear in making the first step generally, because you're so afraid of what you might lose.
Yeah. Well, for an example, my family are into farming, so there's the animal thing, and I can give up meat, and then I think, but then I go and buy a pair of leather shoes or something. So yep. I just feel this push-pull all the time. And
yeah, you seen my shoes? I'll show you my shoes. These look like leather shoes, yes? I'll just take them off. You see them? Look all right, don't they? They're vegan.
What are they?
They're vegan shoes. They're not made of leather. They've not got any animal products in them.
Yeah. So where do you get them from?
I found a shop in Melbourne actually that makes them, and they're quite good at making them. Yeah. We have a friend in Armidale who also is making her own shoes. And I haven't got a pair of those to show you, but she's making me a pair of blue and yellow spats, which I'll be wearing sometime soon. Right? And she actually lives on a farm. So it's not a matter of giving up what you love, it's a matter of just changing what you love to become more loving.
Yeah.
And so, obviously any farm that is just for the production of meat, that's not a very loving farm. But production of wool, that's a more loving farm. Does that make sense?
Yep.
In the sense that the sheep don't die and so forth. And then we could have farms that are for the production of food and the environment, couldn't we?
Yeah.
We could have farms that support animals and birds and native creatures. We could have whole farms that do that, and that would be a fantastic farm, I think. So a lot of times it's just a matter of bringing our what we love into harmony with more love. We don't have to give up. So I feel what happens for a lot of people is they feel like, I'm farming, so I'm going to have to give up the farm. When I love farming, well, I wouldn't give it up. I would just change it so that it's loving. Yeah. And if you're living in a family that's reliant on farming, then help them make some adjustments to change it so it's more loving.
Yeah, that's hard.
I know it's hard.
Yeah. Because we've always thought it's more a survival thing. That's how I was brought up. Animals are there for our survival.
Yeah, and that's not true. There are certain things that are there for our survival. But if we look at this survival thing, can you see even the word connotates fear, doesn't it? It sort of has fear associated with it. How are we going to survive?
Yeah.
So are you going to survive if you don't eat meat?
Yes.
Of course you are. Right? And in fact, you'll survive better if you don't eat meat. Yes? A lot of people don't believe that because they have experiences where they don't eat meat and then they don't address the underlying emotional causes of their body's problems. But the reality is, I've been living without meat for 9 years and I have had no negative experience from living without it. And in fact, I can't stand the smell of it now when it's around me. And when I say can't stand it, I can endure it, but it's not something I would like to sit in a restaurant with all this meat smell around me. And I feel perfectly healthy.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. And I don't take vitamin supplements or anything else. Yeah. Alex?